Hi guys, welcome back to 9 to 5ers, Being Busy or Being Productive, Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1 yet, stop what you're doing and jump over to Part 1 because this feeds off of Part 1. So just a disclosure here really quickly, please use the following information for educational purposes only. We are not lawyers, certified public accountants, or financial advisors or health advisors. Please seek professional advice as needed. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to move right into checks and balances. Am I being productive or am I just being busy? Put a timer on your phone and maybe once an hour, check your phone and have it beep at you and ask a question. Am I being productive? And be honest with yourself. Write it down. Are you actually being productive, or are you kind of just filling up time until something else happens, until break or whatever? Be honest with yourself because it's going to directly affect yourself. Weighted success goals. I use this personally, and I got a little percent there in the parentheses. Sometimes there's more than one thing that needs to get done in a day. And what I'll do is I will weight these things to make sure that they are prioritized properly. So let's say that I have one thing I need to get done today. I will put that in like a 50% bracket. Like this is 50% of my day needs to be focused on this. Or maybe it's much smaller, but still important. It needs to be the 20%. And let's go all the way down to the 1%. I haven't done my write-offs in a while. And I need to make sure those get caught up, and I need to send them off to my bookkeeper. So that's now at the 1% type of thing. But everything is prioritized based off of the percentage that needs to get done. And you'll know if you got a 15 and 20%, what needs to get done first, because at the end of the day, you want to have a highest percentage of success rate that you possibly can. So you'll start at the left and go from 50% all the way down to 1% there. And these percentages are obviously just arbitrary. It's what you want them to be. So they're just kind of there for an example. Task tracking. Estimate how long do you think it's actually going to take to get something done? Like if you have one task that needs to get done, write it down. Like I bet this will take me an hour. Now, if you watched our previous video, which you should have, the growth zone, you'll realize is going to take way longer than what you actually realize what it actually takes. Genius zone should be about what it's supposed to be. And your busy work you need to be taking as little time in this as you possibly can. And if you're wrong in your estimation compared to actual, it probably means that you thought that what you were about to do was in one category and it's actually in another. And this will help you figure out what is actually important, what is not important, and what you should be delegating or deleting or doing. Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time it has been given to be completed. So I used this example in my last video, which was, I need to send an email today. Okay, well, when's that going to get done? Maybe at 5 o'clock when it's about I need to leave, or I need to get this email done in the next 10 minutes. It's going to get done in the next 10 minutes. So if you put a time limit on what needs to get done, then things get done at a much more rapid rate, and that leaves you with more time to do other things. So tracking some patterns here, and this is some questions that you want to ask yourself maybe at the end of the day during your recap. When I was focused, this is where you want the one thing to be. When you are focused, when you're in that focus zone, this is where you want your one thing to be. And I know that different people, different folks, different strokes, as they like to say. When are you focused? Is it first thing in the morning? Or like, no, I'm not a morning person. I need time to wake up. Okay, then maybe your one thing starts at 10 a.m. Maybe you answer some emails or do something else before you do your one thing. Remember, this is for your own specific purposes, guys. This is for your own success, not mine. So whenever you feel like you're at your most focused, that's where the one thing needs to be. When was I distracted? Well, this might mean that you might need a break. You might need to, or change your routine, depending on what type of distraction it is. Are you distracted because you're just like, I need to get out of here. I need to take a break. I need to rest. I need to do something. I need to look at Facebook. I need to look at something that doesn't matter. Okay, that might mean that you need to take a break. Or Maybe you were distracted because someone's coming in your office asking you pointless questions when they could just send you an email and get information back from you an hour from now. Or you're getting phone calls when you shouldn't be getting phone calls, or a text message going off. This is when you might need to change your routine. If everybody's coming to your office at 9 a.m. and there's nothing you can do about it, then you might need to move your one thing, or try to talk to your boss and get things changed around, depending if you have a boss or not. What distracted me? Remove, reduce, or work around. Like I just kind of talked about. If people come into your office at 9:30 on the dot and they ask you all these crazy ass questions and you have to get them answered and your boss says this is the way that it is, then just work around it. Move your one thing either prior to it or after it. If you can reduce the distraction, then reduce it. But best case scenario is to completely remove it. When I was most tired, okay, this would be like a habit change or a routine change. If you are most tired, then maybe you're not going to bed when you should be going to bed. Maybe your routine is not set up properly. Something is not right there. You have to take a look at your situation and kind of change it from what it is right now. If you are really, really tired, maybe you've gotten your one thing done and you're trying to push yourself, or maybe you need to break up your one thing a little bit and take a break in between your one thing, like halfway through or something. If you're doing a big one thing at the beginning of the day and you're getting burnt out quickly, or it might be because you're in your growth zone, or maybe the one thing is just too big and needs to be broken up into parts. That's fine. Give yourself a break. Don't try to fight through something that is just going to ruin the whole rest of the day. And best days happen when ... I have this keystone habit. And you'll realize this at the end of the day when you're recapping your day. And you're like, man, this day went really effective and went really fluid and it was perfect and everything just seemed to fire on all cylinders. Write down a list of all the things that you did that day. And then over time, you'll be able to filter that down and figure out what your keystone habit is. Your keystone habit might be meditation. It might be prayer. It might be exercising at the beginning of the day. It might be taking a shower at the beginning of the day. Maybe it means that you sleep in till 8 o'clock. I don't really know. It's going to be dependent on yourself. I would say my keystone habit for me personally is that when I go and exercise from 11 to 1 p.m. every single day. So let's just do some examples here. And I think I foreshadowed a little bit too much. So I'm focused when I have a full stomach and I have solid sleep. Okay, so that means that you need to get to bed on time. And when you have breakfast in the morning, you need to eat a sufficient amount of breakfast. When was I distracted? Well, emails, texts, when all that comes in. Okay, emails and text messages distract you. How does it distract you? Well, when it dings, or maybe if I'm looking up in the left-hand corner of my computer and I see that my emails have gone from 2 to 12, that's red alert. I need to go and fix all these emails. There's ways around it, guys. When was I most tired? It could be an actual time, 12 p.m. Okay, my best day is when I exercise from 11 to 1 p.m. This is actually 4 and 5 are me personally. So that's just something that I realized that I get burned out around 12 p.m. if I'm working on my one thing from early in the morning all the way up until noon. Noon is about my tapping out point when it comes to I need to stop what I'm doing mentally and do something physically. And it's going to be different for different people. So, and my keystone habit was exercising about midday. Root cause problems. What is a root cause for unproductive days? And this is going to be different for different people. Some people will be affected by this more than others, and some people will, it'd be varying degrees of effectiveness. So let's just pick one here. Let's just say lack of energy. What is my root cause of lack of energy? I'm unproductive because I just don't have any energy. I just don't feel like I just don't care, you know? Well, let's peel back the onion a little bit. This is not one of those problems where it's just like I'm getting distracted too much, so I need to eliminate this one thing over here, and now it's buttoned up and taken care of. Peel back the onion a little bit, you know? Maybe you have, and these are just examples here. I'm just shooting in the dark here. Maybe you have a fear of success. Maybe you just can't say no to people. Maybe every time somebody walks in the door, you have to say yes to them. I need this right now. Okay. I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing and fix your problem. Marathon in the middle. And I got this from an author was talking about. So when you are at the beginning of a project, there's that fun, that excitement, that sense of urgency to get it started, to get off on the right track, and that's the beginning of it. And then at the end of the project, when you see the finish line, you're almost done. You almost got that ribbon tied perfectly on that finished product or that wrapped up project. Those are high energy level times. It's that middle time where it feels like there's no end in sight, or man, like it just feels like, oh man, there's just one problem after another. Like what is going on with this? I don't know, what is the direction of this project? I feel like I'm lost. That's the marathon in the middle. When you're not, when you're in the middle of the tunnel and you can't see the light at the beginning and you can't see the light at the end. Lack of belief. Maybe you just don't believe that you're ever going to get better. You're ever going to become more productive. This is it. This is as good as it's going to get for you. You just don't have any faith in yourself. Negative thought loops. Maybe something reminds you of something and it makes you mad. Then you think of something else that makes you mad. Then you think of something else that makes you mad. It's tough. Then this is just a splat of just different root cause problems. There's many more, but I just want to throw them out there. A root cause problem is a problem that you just does not seem to be getting fixed, and there's no easy way to fix it. And you don't know, and like the problem is behind the problem is behind the problem is behind the problem. That's the real problem. Peel back the onion. And this takes a lot of courage to do, but to reach out to a mentor or a coach for help. Very rarely can you get help from just figuring it out on your own, or talking to your spouse, or talking to a friend. It's very rare that things get taken care of in that manner. You have to have someone that's kind of been there, done that, or a third party that doesn't have any real connection to you in ways of like, oh, you're just doing this, or oh, you're just doing that. You know, they can focus on the problem and not focus on you, so to speak. And spouses tend to, they're bad coaches, they're bad mentors. I'm a good spouse, but I'm a bad coach to my wife. So I don't try to coach her on anything, and vice versa. And that's just the way that it goes. So find a good mentor, reach out to somebody that mentors or coaches to find root causes of problems. When you just like, I just have no idea why I can't fix this problem, and I've tried everything. Well, there's probably a root cause there that we're just not seeing, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Going from good to great. Well, carrots and sticks. And carrot, this is like an old metaphor of a carrot is a positive reinforcement, and a stick is a negative reinforcement. So let's pretend that there's a rabbit, or I think it's a donkey, and you give the donkey a carrot if it does the task that you want it to do, or you can smack the donkey on the rear end if he doesn't do. So it's positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement, and you want to use these on yourself. I'm not saying you should beat yourself with a stick, but I am saying that you should be linking success to something positive. Every time I have a productive day equals blank. I get to hang out with my friends for the entire day afterwards. So if you had a productive day every single day, like Monday through Friday, you'd be hanging out with your friends every single day. That sounds like a pretty good life to me. And you're successful. I mean, that's a win-win right there. There's also, and sometimes people react better to carrots, and some people react better to sticks. The stick would be like, if nothing really motivates you in a positive manner, then throw a negative in there. Just be like, if I don't get my one thing done today, I have to donate $50 to the political party that I just absolutely can't stand. Now, you hate this political party and you can't stand that political party, or you don't like that politician, like a specific politician, and you will do anything not to donate to this person's campaign fund. Okay, will you do your one thing? If the answer is yes, then it's a good stick. So that is a good way to get yourself motivated, to not get complacent where you're at right now, and to go from good to great. Feedback loop. What can I do better? What is good but can grow to great? That is something that is going to happen on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And when you're doing that daily recap and that weekly recap, and you're planning for the next week, you know, what went well last week? What didn't go so well? What could have been better? That's your positive. You want to have a positive feedback loop. Never rest on your laurels. Always figure out how you can do better, even if it's just 1%. That's fine. And it doesn't always necessarily mean that you're focusing on your weakest point. It might be focusing on your best point, because, you know, taking something from an 8 to a 10 might have way higher exponential growth rate versus taking something from a 3 to a 4 or a 2 to a 3. So routines, keystone habits, and the belief train here that we have, the belief thought loop that we have here, this is really what is going to take that first video to the next level. You having a good routine and turning it into a great routine is going to take it to the next level. Figuring out what your keystone habits are and making sure that you get those in every single day is going to make every single day go from a good day to a great day. And when you see the results from those increases, that is going to change your belief system, and your belief system is going to affect your behavior. And it's going to be a positive cycle, which is awesome. Bonus. I have a bonus in here for you guys. So there's 3 types of people, and there's a million ways to classify people, but I thought this was an interesting way to classify people, and it comes to skill sets and how they interact with the world, at least professionally. So there's I-shaped and there's dash-shaped. There's little dashes across there, and then there's T-shaped. So let's get an explanation of each of these. An I-shaped person is an expert in one area and nothing else. So they are a master in one field, and they're basically clueless everywhere else in life. And this, you know, might sound like at least you're a master in one thing. That's kind of not really, because you want to be socially apt, and you want to know what's going on in the world, and you know, you at least need to understand the basics of other types of things. So being I-shaped is not really the is a perfect scenario that you want to be in. A dash-shaped is the jack of all trades, master of none person. So you're mediocre at that person is mediocre at everything. And the expert is like the T-shaped person is an expert like an I, but has a basic understanding of other topics. So why do I have this in here? What is the purpose of this? And this is kind of like, you want to find your genius zone. That's like the I, or the middle of the T there that goes downward. And how far down can you go? How much of a master can you become? That is a challenge in and of itself. And the better you can get at your genius zone, you know, the more fruit you will get from your labor. But you also don't want to be a complete dunce in every other area of your life. You know, if you're you need to have some basic understanding of many other topics. And to do that, you have to not only work in your genius zone and get out of your comfort zone inside of your genius zone to push it further, but you also have to grow in other areas of your life, that growth zone. So if you guys have got any sort of thing out of this, is that you want to be staying in your genius zone as often as you can, which is the middle of the T or the entire I there. But you also want to branch out and get into that growth zone in other parts of your life and learn different things and try new things and grow and get out of your comfort zone. And stay out of the busy work area as much as possible. Make that T as long and as wide as you possibly can make it. What do you guys think? Did we answer all your questions? Do you still have more questions? Where are you guys stuck? Are you stuck in this area of being productive? How is it hurting you from reaching your financial goals? What types of videos would you like to see next or in the future? Please like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps out the channel. And check us out on Facebook, 9 to 5ers. And if you guys have any other thoughts, write them down in the comments. We really, really do appreciate it. Guys, we're here to make you smarter today and richer tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good day.